Hey, hope everyone's doing good today. Thanks for joining us. Uh, I was contacted by a few of my clients recently, and they were asking me how I got into real estate investing, and that they don't think it's possible. So, what I did was I started telling them about how I got into real estate investing, and that I ended up using my home equity to help fund some of our early projects. But being able to access my home equity was able to push me into several real estate strategies that seem to be paying off dividends now. So I wanted to share with you how you can leverage your home equity in real estate investments, and and start earning some good returns. So the exciting opportunity of HELOCs. And for those of you who are considering selling your homes, you might wonder what you can do with the equity you've built in your home instead of selling. Well, today I've got an innovative solution for you. So let's explore leveraging the equity in your home to unlock the power of real estate investments. So first, let's talk about a HELOC. So a HELOC, as you may have heard several times, is called it's an acronym for Home Equity Line of Credit. It's a flexible tool that is secured by your home's equity. So that's the security that the person giving you the loan on the equity is using. The advantages are pretty compelling of using a HELOC. Number one, you can get lower interest rates compared to other loans, and the borrowing is a little more flexible. Potentially, in some scenarios, you can get tax benefits from using it as well. So, as we dive into it, let's um, let's check it out. So, let's say you need a cash for a down payment on a property that you've been checking out, right? You can use a HELOC to help fund that down payment and jumpstart your real estate venture. But remember that you should be making informed decisions. They're crucial. And before diving in, conduct some thorough market research about what you're purchasing, where it is, what it looks like, what shape it's in, and most importantly, what you're going to do with it. There's always risks that come along with healthy returns, and you should be, well informed about what those risks are before you just jump right into using a HELOC and buying another house. Um, so speaking of risks, it's essential to mitigate those risks. So what I like to do is I like to know how I'm repaying that HELOC before I take it out. Before I start using it, I need to know how that money is getting back to us. So, for example, if that has to do with I'm going to use a HELOC to purchase a property. I know I'm going to be renting it out, and I'm going to be making X amount of dollars every month on the return. That is how I'm going to pay the HELOC and hopefully have enough to for a little bit of profit. Or let's say that I'm into private lending. That's another area of real estate investing that I do heavily. I use that HELOC to lend money out to other investors. And I know that the HELOC, let's say the rate of return I get on my HELOC is, prime minus, I think like 1.5% or 2%. So realistically, if prime is at 6% now, your HELOC interest rate is only 4%. But on private lending, you could be getting returns of up to 10% for that money. So in essence, you're making 6% on your money every time that goes out. And usually, when you're private lending, you're lending out for 6 months to a year. So it's better than a GIC, that's for sure. There's been lots of real estate success stories with homeowners that have used the HELOC. But remember, wise strategies and due diligence are your best allies. You really got to be smart with how you use it and have a plan before you start using that money. But diversify yourself with your investments, and if you have 300,000, even 100,000 sitting in equity in your property, try to diversify those investments. If you can get into private lending and have a few rental properties, it's going to help you when the market's down. Seek expert advice, and consult any financial advisors that you work with. Your accountant might be a great place to start. Your real estate broker, if they have knowledge in real estate investments, they might be a good place to start as well. The possibilities really are endless with what you can do once you have access to your home equity if you're smart. I would not use my home equity to go buy a car. I wouldn't get a HELOC and go on vacation. I would say if you're getting a HELOC, it is for growing and making into more money, not using it on things that don't bring a return to you. So there's an example I wanted to give you of one of my clients. So let's call her Sarah. She's Sarah, the savvy homeowner, let's say. But she leveraged her home equity through a HELOC to get her investment journey started. This what I'm going to tell you about here is really going to highlight certain aspects of what she did, but it's a good example of anyone that wants to transform their home equity into a tool to help generate more money. So the background. So Sarah owned a family home in Pickering. She's lived there for over 10 years. But due to Pickering's steady appreciation, her home accumulated a substantial amount of equity. So Sarah had a dream of investing in real estate to secure her financial future, like so many of us do. But she has a common challenge that a lot of us do, and that is a lack of money, a lack of available funds. And she needed a solution to access the equity tied up in her home without selling it, which I know a lot of you want to do. But what normally happens is that you don't know how to get the money to buy another home, and you've been sitting in a home for 10, 15, 20 years, and you don't even realize that you're richer than you think. Like Scotiabank says, you're sitting on a pile of cash and you don't even know about it. So I proposed the HELOC solution to her. And I asked Sarah to check in with her bank, speak with her financial advisors, and they agreed with what I said, and they provided her with a HELOC based on the equity in her home. So she was able to get flexible access to her funds. She got a substantial line of credit, and she could withdraw her funds as she needed. Like when you have access to a HELOC, it usually comes to you in the form of a credit card, or you can go to the bank and ask for a check. But it's usually going to be on a credit card, and then that's how you get access to it. And you can usually get access to it through your bank, and that's why I say you can go to the teller and ask for a check registered against the HELOC if you were going to, let's say, pay for something that a credit card limit won't allow you to pay for. Anyway, she took out a whole lot of money on the HELOC, and she was able to use it and invest it in down payment on property, renovations, and other things. So Sarah's decision to use the HELOC led to some good results. So she bought a house. She used her HELOC to make a down payment on an investment property in an area in Durham. She also used the HELOC to fund the renovations that she was doing on the property, where she was able to add in a rental suite in the basement, do some other work to make it suitable for multiple doors in that property, and she was able to rent out 2 units for additional income. It also increased the value of the property as well. And then she got positive cash flow when she ended up renting the property out. She got a steady stream of income coming in. And that money that came in, because she's got 2 units in the property now, in her new property, was enough to pay for the mortgage on the property and cover her HELOC payments. So as her first investment started generating profits, she started to reinvest in another property. And basically over the years, she was able to establish a real estate portfolio, that leads to, long-term financial security. And today she's built a pretty thriving portfolio. I mean, even I myself am impressed with what she's been able to do. Not just in Durham region, now she's able to buy property in Hamilton as well. Her real estate assets continue to appreciate, generating both passive income and capital growth. And she now, has a bit of peace of mind about her financial future. In conclusion, Sarah's journey showcases the potential for homeowners to unlock their home equity through a HELOC and invest in real estate. I would say that story would really emphasize that careful planning, professional guidance, and strategic decision making in the world of real estate investment really, help to create a future that she's going to enjoy um, moving forward. So with that being said, I think that if you want to, if you really want to invest in real estate, start by finding out if you have equity in your property. And you can do that by contacting me. I'm more than happy to help you figure out how to do that. And once you know that, then we can start making a plan about real estate and investing based on your goals. So give me a call. My name is Jason Mosley. You can reach me at 877-272-7272, or you can find me online at 905homesonline.com. Hope to hear from you soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.